Oh, wrong one. Get this stuff up. All right. Share this screen. We'll wait a minute for everyone else to get in here. I've been doing morning reports, so I haven't really even looked at the market so far this morning. Let me turn on my camera. Dave, you're not allowed to talk about it on my hoodie. Alrighty. What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing? No worries. Yeah, just listen. Nike is, I know we had a couple members that were talking about Nike. Let me remove this. All right. Let's take a look at what's going on this morning. I have not really kept my eyes on it this morning. These morning reports I have to do for my other job have to get turned in by noon, so I always have to hurry up between the market open and noon. Alrighty, so let's see what our watch list looks like. Zeta, Path, Adur, AMPX, RCAT, SoFi, HIMS. Wow. Navitas is doing good. You guys, there's two of you guys today this morning that had questions about Navitas. So what I will say, I'm going to go to the one that I use just so you guys can see more data when I'm talking. Good morning, Miguel. And what I'm looking at, okay? The daily time frame flip bullish. Again, it's a gray candle. So we're just becoming more overvalued. So these aren't as good of entries as like what we had in the beginning opportunities of getting into these, right? These yellow green diamonds here. Now we have gray candle yellows, diamonds. The daily's bullish. This is curling, momentum shifting up. That's good. And the trend is good so far, kind of on the weekly. It's a mixed batch right now on the weekly time frame. But trend overall has held for the weekly time frame that we continue to hold. I expect a bounce based on the momentum. Again, the weeklies will lag compared to what like daily entries could be. But it's good to kind of know overall, like you can just see that this MACD has been still trending down and we don't have a cross for the true takeoff. We just keep rejecting this like $10 range right here. Sometimes we spike above it, but we, drive right back down. So nothing has kind of changed to this chart. If you were having a CSP that expires at the end of this week or next week, I would just hold it, unless you find another opportunity to move that money to. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go. You can't hear me? My mic's not working? Who?
We cannot hear you.
What? Okay, let me leave and come right back.
We can't hear you, bro. We're trying to tell you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
If they're the ones.
Weird. It's the first time that's ever happened. Alrighty. All right, good. Everyone can hear me. All right, well, that's how I feel about Navitas. No, I'm just kidding. I'll run back. I'll run it back real quick. Navitas. I like Navitas long run. I believe Miguel's in the same boat. Um, I believe Elwa is in the same boat as well when it comes to Navitas. We're still holding this trend line overall. If we take a look here, that we've kind of been bouncing off of a couple times, we definitely had a little bit of a shakeout happen. But this is weekly candle, so we have recaptured it as of right now. We'll see how the week ends. And we're getting a diamond on the daily time frame. We're above the blue line. That's good. But we've had a lot of opportunities and better opportunities than this diamond specifically. All right. In the past, we've had this diamond, and it's done very well for us. Just look for rejection when you get up here to this $10 range. And based on the weekly time frame, I don't know why that popped up. Based on the weekly time frame, this is still trending down the MACD. We haven't crossed to being bullish, right? So we see some curling happening, which is good. We could be getting we already had one weekly diamond, which had a good run up. But I still think there's like some time. I don't know. I'm worried now again, everyone's all bullish. I'm worried I'm not going to get my like CSPs, and I was extremely risk on with my CSPs. So we're going to see how it plays out. I think they're going to try to shake everyone out before that war announcement ends, or the war ending announcement comes out. That's going to be their goal. Push it down, make people worried that this is going to reverse. And then they're going to go ahead and, let it run. Usually Trump doesn't announce some bad news while the market's open. He usually would wait for like Thursday market close 9 p.m. So then there's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the market to like not do anything and him to fix whatever like reaction could take place. So I have a hard time believing that 9 o'clock tonight is going to be bad news. I think it will be good news for the market, but we'll see how it plays out. You guys are more than welcome to put questions in the chat. Stocks. People had questions about Nike. What I will say is, if you are buying Nike, you're buying a company that you're just going to buy and hold for 10 years, and you just can't look at it. Okay? You just can't, because it's a shoe company. Like, it's not an exciting company to be a part of. The management team did awful. I know they changed out their management team recently, but it takes a lot to undo all the wrongs the previous management team did. So I just don't think that Nike, and in the market conditions and tariffs on their end, is just a company I really care to be a part of. Um, I mean, yeah, we're getting. I mean, I understand we're super undervalued. I'm not saying that part, but I just not interested in the company itself. Um, I don't know if you guys know, the previous management team basically said we don't need retail stores. We want to do direct to consumer ourselves. We're going to pull all of our products off of Foot Locker. We're going to pull them all out of all the sporting stores, Dick's Sporting Goods, stuff like that, because they think that people just wanted them so bad they'd go directly to them, and that just wasn't the case, which allowed hookahs, Brooks, Clouds, other shoes to hit the retail shelves that people were going to and actually buying, which gave them a huge kind of market loss to retail buyers. And that's the effect that we are seeing since 2021 and downfall. So I'm just not a believer into Nike at this time. But and it's funny, people call it like a safe haven, and it does pay a dividend, so it's something you can buy and hold, and you'll get paid 3% a year in dividends, and they'll just get reinvested, and you'll buy more, and long term, 10 years down the road, it will be good. But it's one that you buy and just sit there and hold. It's not something that you really are like, oh, why didn't it go up 30% this month? It's not one of those companies, right? Space sector is one of those companies. Healthcare can do it during the right moments. Obviously, technology, software, data centers, energy, rare earths can do that. MP, I don't know if you guys saw, we've talked about this company a while. That this is looking for, I think they had a price target of like 94 reiterated today. So pretty excited for rare earths. Just going to wait for that weekly diamond to trigger. But if there's any companies you guys wanted to go over or strategy or setting up indicators, just let me know. I know there's a lot of new members, so I want to leave a lot of questions in the beginning right now for you guys. Now that you guys are all like in here, um, I work my job during the day, and when you guys will see that I have like I'll pull up my account real quick, and I have tons of trades out there. So like it's hard for me to want to place any more trades right now because like, if you take a look, like, I have tons of trades. I have trying to buy Cypher at 14, trying to buy Hims at 30. We'll see. It could take off any moment. I'm being aggressive. I want to get paid, and I just want to buy some companies. I have Hims at 22. I have Iren at 41. I have Iren at 40. Oscar at 12. SoFi at 18. SoFi at 17. We have long call, just like we're following the big money buys, right? I have TSLL, and then I have an Iren covered call. Okay. Um, I'll take a look at SN for sure. I don't mind looking at companies, but I typically want to, when I'm like investing in companies, I want to have done my research in them. I don't just trade based off of setups. And if I do, it's a very small trade. Um, but I like you got to find the companies you really like because based on this list of I don't know how many this is 20, 30. I really don't count these. I just like to look at the mag 7 or the mag whatever, however many, 1 2 3 4 8, the mag 8. I like to look at them just to see the overall like bigger companies and how they're doing. um Okay, IPO is less than the 3 years. Um, so yeah, that would be a trickier one. I'd really have to do digging into the actual financials and everything and make sure the company is a company I like to get into earlier. But with this list of companies in top in their sector, right? All these software companies right here. I don't think there's a single problem with one of these companies long term to like be interested into. Data centers, these would be the main four, besides maybe if you're interested in CoreWeave. Energy, okay. AMPX is a battery company for drones. We've done really well with this company. Rare earths, I have your TMC on there. Drones, right? So like I don't need to go looking for a bunch of companies because there's always usually a play to be made. If this software company's up big and this one's down, then I'll be in this one, right? There's always a play to be made when I'm looking at just this. I don't need to look at 900, 800 different companies. Usually I can find a play to be made in this just group of stocks. Um, Neo and SN. Let's take a look. Right, bounce right off the trend line. That's a good sight to see. But we still have the stochastic curling on the weekly time frame, just like it was here. So I don't love that part of it right now. I do see momentum creeping up. So this will probably come down while this is slowly getting there, and at the same time they will sync up. And this will be flipping bullish. This will be crossing. Okay, and then our MACD should be curling up at the same time. But it looks like we still have plenty of time on it. It's also just like not the most undervalued stock, right? 133, 108. You're not buying it for like a super cheap deal. But we've done well, I guess, on these. 1, 2, pop. Gray candle, if you listen to it, up to you. Then 3. This is April, I'm assuming. Yep. So done fairly well. It's following diamonds correctly. That's a good sign. But a lot of these we have daily, which I think, like I said, I think we could see a rally. It's going to depend on when this war truly ends. But we had a fake rally last March, though. So be aware of that. If you look at the SPY, right? Very similar situation playing out right now, right? We have this. Do you see we came below our blue line and our orange line? Boom, we rallied. Everyone thought we were good, and then we weren't good. Okay, same thing. Below both these lines, we're coming up as if we look like we're going to hit this stride, and we probably have this final flush. So that's why I'm not chasing anything. I'm just letting the things I have play out. Oh my gosh, Cynthia, where have you been? Long time no see. Um, so let's see here, Neo. So this is looking very similar situation. Let's look at the weekly time frame on it real quick. Da, da, da. So here we're still curling, curling. Where were we on this flush down? Look at this was at the bottom in that March bounce. This was at the bottom. We're currently at the bottom. The white was at the 50 line or close to the 50 line. It's like nearly in sync with what happened last time. The MACD is a little further down, which is good. When did we see the reversal? This volume bar? Yeah, reversal really came in once you see this volume bar flick green to having more bullish volume. Then we can start looking more into reversal. But until we have the volume truly flipping more bullish, I don't know if the relief bounce or this is the true turnaround moment. So as of right now, I'm not saying we've bottomed yet. So just similar signs to how last March kind of played out. And we came fairly close. We didn't touch it, but we came pretty close to that breakout level, retesting the previous breakout, which is what we're looking to do here, which is the previous breakout, which is coming to retest that. So looks pretty similar. Fair enough, Cynthia. Fair enough. All right. I understand. If you and I've told people that too. If you guys don't have any more money to put in the market and you've bought your plays, probably just need to stop looking at it for a minute and check back in a week, check back next Friday, check back the following Friday, right? Give yourself a breather, because it's a mental thing. They could mentally exhaust you. I've been mentally, for the most part, mentally exhausted from just chop, up and down, just depending on what day we wake up. One day it's green, next day it's red. It's just like a constant battle. So yeah, I mean, I've been getting a little tired of it, but we've been sitting in our CSPs. I was showing you guys. There's not much for me to do right now, so you won't see too many trade alerts come out until this like April 17th moment really plays out. Depending on if I get certain stocks or I don't get certain stocks, right? Because I have my final 10% cash saved for that final potential correction to be made. Okay. So if we follow that channel too, everyone's calling 7,500 the top for the market before apparently a financial correction, like a 2008 almost moment coming into play. They're calling for 7,500. So basically, we're going to break the previous high. We're going to go on one more run like this. And then you are going to see a big flush down. The flush down that Warren Buffett is probably waiting for is going to happen. And unless Trump manipulates the market in general, to make sure we like postpone that situation. But they're calling for 7,500. So right up here. Which would, if we can get our final correction, hit the all-time high, and then go to 7,500, that'd be about, 24, 25% on the SPY upside, which would be a great rally from the bottom to top. Obviously, it's not a huge rally from top to top. But this is when everyone's calling the get out moment of the whole market. Obviously, again, no one's going to time this thing. We're just going to follow these diamonds, get warned, look for our weekly momentum to completely shift and cross over to the downside. And we'll go over Neo as well. Weeklies. I mean, international, right? Right. Miguel, you and your EV, right? It's an EV company, EV cars. EV cars. All right. Back-to-back diamonds. We're looking to break through. We're hitting resistance levels um, right now, but we do have a curl, volume, right? Everything is pairing up well. We have crossing on the MACD, momentum is bullish, stochastic is bullish, and volume is trending more and more bullish. So yes, everything looks to be hitting when those diamonds. So you can see like a perfect scenario kind of playing out, guys. Green bar, this bottomed out, okay? So you could add, okay, and then you get this diamond here, more curl, more volume, more up, okay, and the MACD crossed. So again, buy, and you're good to go. So you want, for the most part, you want as much things to pair as far as bullishness happening. The more you can have indicators or all of these trending up, MACD crossing, um, volume being better, right? Stochastic being good. The more things you can see bullish or turning to become bullish is a good sign. Same thing we're looking at like SoFi on the weekly, right? We haven't seen the volume yet. This has bottomed, which is a good sign. This has bottomed, that's a good sign. But you see how we're just like still waiting for it all to happen in unison together, where this diamond triggers and this is now crossed, this is now crossed, this is crossed, this is green. That's what we're looking for. We want all those four to really hit all at the same time. And I can upload charts, guys. Any of the um, full members can request charts in the chat, and when I get a moment when I'm not at work or something like that, I can quickly take a look at my chart and you can see what all the indicators, so that way you don't have to pay for it. And we can take a look at anything else. But Neo looks good. Obviously missed a couple of the weeklies, so you'd want to go down to the daily time frame, and because you're above the blue now, so now you want to go to daily. Okay. And just start playing the daily time frame. So wait for a rejection if you didn't get in on these ones on the weeklies. Wait for a rejection and get back into it.
Hey, Colby, if you zoom out on the Neo chart, like on a monthly, it had a pretty monster run. I think that was right after, I don't know if it was COVID or one of the crashes. I just know that that stock can run a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So only a few hundred shares. Doesn't have to be heavy. It can make some good money
Yeah.
if it plays out.
Yep.
So it's not like
Yeah, you got monthly bullish, you got weekly bullish, and you got daily bullish. I mean, there's plenty to be done. I just think if you wanted like a better entry, I mean, you can nibble, but I would look to see if we reject any of this resistance first. Because you're already, I mean, you're pretty much getting there, right? Or you're right on this weekly, but
my entry was around 550.
yeah.
So that's why I say it's been open, so I'm just cruising now.
Yep. Yeah. You and your EV companies.
I just got a little list that I keep track of them. That's all.
As far as expecting SPY to go, and Braden, I'll get to yours next. Expecting SPY to go down, won't that pull down all stocks along? Yes, it will. Or it should. But a lot of companies will, like SoFi during the pullback we just had, it pulled back not that much compared to some other companies, right? There's other companies that are more overvalued than other companies. So SoFi, for example, has pulled back a significant amount compared to all the moving average, right? It's at the 200 weekly weighted moving average. Anytime a stock is really at this 200 weekly weighted moving average price or below it, has is usually for a good company an amazing opportunity long term. Best example has been Microsoft for me to like kind of just show people that anytime it goes below this red line or touches the red line, it has been an amazing opportunity to grab. Now we're well below it. Amazing opportunity to grab. This is daily time frame. I can go to weekly time frame. So below it, okay, below it, perfect, right? So if you're kind of already below this, I wouldn't expect a huge amount of additional pullback from the SPY correcting. But other companies, for example, Braden, what I wanted to show you was Navitas. Okay. If it loses this trend, yeah, it can pull back. Okay. And your 200 weekly weighted moving average is $6. Okay. So this company can pull back a lot more, 30%, right? 90 to 6, 9 to 6, I mean. So Navitas could have a 30% pullback. It's holding its trend line right now. It's not giving it up on the weekly time frame. So I would keep an eye on where the 200 weekly weighted moving average is to kind of understand how much risk you could potentially be taking, and look for those companies that might not be, so far away from it. As far as your SoFi puts, obviously everything I say is educational and not financial advice, but I don't know what your premium was. What was your premium? Welcome in, Stone Cold. 50 cents. So you're going to get a sign this Thursday at the current price. You're going to own it for better than what it currently is as of today. So I mean, I'm just going to I hope I get assigned my SoFi shares because I think getting assigned 16, I mean, think about that, right? 16 for SoFi, just back to all-time highs, which I think is completely easy for SoFi to do and SoFi to easily go above that. But for you, that's 100% return. You got paid to buy it for 16. You're going to be basically still in the green if you were to sign today. Obviously, we don't know what tomorrow holds up for us. So just depends how much you want the shares. If you are like, I could live with or without, then you could roll it another week, or to April 17th for keep the same strike and just collect some more premium, or get assigned, which would be the same thing. Just so you guys know, like if you are thinking about rolling a CSP, look at getting assigned your CSP today. Braden, look at what it is right now. If you were to be assigned right now and the stock is 1552 right now, okay, could I set a covered call for on the April 17th for $17 and collect some premium? It's the same scenario, but you actually leave yourself a little bit more upside. Because if you hold your CSP and roll it out, right, if the stock is above 16, you don't get the shares. If you get assigned the shares and you set a covered call at 17 and the stock goes above 16, you still have your shares and you collected some premium. If it went above 17, you'd sell it for 17. So either way, you're going to be able to collect some premium, but that's only if you're really willing to set a covered call, which is ultimately the same thing as rolling out your CSP, because you're leaving it a chance to not even have the shares. Does that make sense? I see you typing, Pat. And let me read Arsh's long one real quick. Even if we get weekly diamond on SoFi around 15 on the volume and recent pump, but Trump could chicken out again. Even Buffett is expecting more down. What would be the reason for Buffett holding to high amounts of cash, even saying openly his crash is nothing compared to what's coming next? So his reason, so it's hard for us to compare and play the same way that Buffett does, right? Dude's got billions with a B, right? Like so much money. I don't know if you guys know the answer, and I don't know the exact dollar amount, but yeah, I'll get into that. Anyway, he has so much money. Every quarter, every month, the amount of dividends he gets paid out is millions of dollars every month, right? So he still holds a good chunk of things in the market, but because he gets paid so much every month, he stacks a crazy amount of cash on the sideline to prepare for a crash, right? So it's really hard for us to play the same style because we don't have millions, we don't have billions. We have to be a little more risk on. Um, when you have so much money, it takes very little for you to make a lot at that point. Um, we have to be a little bit more aggressive in the market to really grow our money to get to that level at some point in our lives, hopefully. Um, but yeah, I agree that we are potentially setting ourselves up for a bigger economic crash, but I don't think it's like this year. He plans for economic crash. He's been planning for an economic crash for the past 2 years of a bull run. He's been selling, right? He wasn't buying this April dip. He wasn't even buying really back in 2024. He's just been selling this whole time. So he even said, I sold Apple at the wrong time. Yeah. But he can do that. He can sit out. He doesn't need to be putting more money in the market. All the money he has in the market pays him stupid amount of money. And he doesn't care. He's not going to sell what he currently makes in dividends. He pulls some because every time he gets paid, it technically like auto buys, I think. So it's it's hard to compare ourselves to him. You can take his insight as far as like, yeah, economic crash, there's a bigger crash coming, but a lot of people have said this for years, which I do agree. There is a potential of a bigger crash coming if they can't get a handle on our debt and the interest rates to help Americans relieve all their debt and refinance at lower rates and everything. Like there is issues. They can't be ignored. I just don't think those issues are going to come up this year. So yeah. Um, doo, doo, doo. I'm confused about the. So I'm and Arsh, I'm thinking long term SoFi. So I think 15 is a great long term entry. Um, it's not too. I'm never right. Never like put myself in a situation where I guess like SoFi goes to 12 after I bought at 15 and I'm like, "Oh snap, I'm dead in the water." Like I still will always make sure there's some cash on the sidelines. I'll never be like I don't know. I've been down in SoFi before where like I was down, I'm like, "Oh snap," and then it runs like I don't know, you can't if you're always scared of the downside, guys, if you're always scared of the downside, you're never going to want to jump in the market. And you probably shouldn't be in the market if you're always scared of there being more bottom, more bottom, more bottom, right? So, and if you stick to higher time frames, it's if you take a look Arch 2 on the higher time frames, for example, like Microsoft bear market 2022 for us, right? You still didn't get a lot of opportunities. Okay, this was again above the blue line, so daily time frame. But weekly time frame, here's your one buy, right? You bought at 560 and then you bought again at 538. So you bought two times and your average is like 245. If you just kind of stick to the higher time frames during those bear markets, kind of like what I'm telling us to do right now is kind of keep an eye on the weekly time frame so you get less false signals. You can be a little more patient. You might not get the bottom, but you can confirm that the bigger momentum is on your side opposed to the smaller up and down time frames. Um, do you do long dated CSPs? No, Pat, I do not. Um, I would do them if I. There's another guy on X, and again, I'll share other people I follow on X, but TJ the Wheel Deal, I think is his. I don't know if that's his name, but that's what he goes by. I think some of you have seen him. He does the wheel strategy, but he does the wheel strategy with again, a stupid amount of money. He did a January, maybe December 2027 or January 2028. I can't remember the date. He did a SoFi CSP for $15. Okay. I don't do that because technically his average annual return for 2 years of holding the CSP is an average return of 14% a year. So I think by doing monthly or 3 months out, well, it doesn't have to be monthly, but even just doing 3 months out CSP at SoFi, you can generate 14% in 3 months or whatever it may be. Like, he has so much money. Again, people with big money, guys, big money accounts, you can't really follow their strategies because they don't have to be so risky to make the returns to really grow their portfolio. He did this with a couple $1 million, which paid him $1 million in premium for 2 years. So there you go. He has $500,000 a year to live off of, or live off of half, and or whatever his lifestyle is, right? So you can't really follow the same strategies that big account investors do, just because they don't make the same play that makes the most sense. Like if you're just trying to beat the SPY, yeah, that's a great play. That's guaranteed 14% a year in premium, and you beat the SPY average per year. So yeah, I don't typically do those long, drawn out ones. QQQ. As far as meta glasses go, I wish they weren't so wide angled lens. I want kind of more zoomed in. So that's the only thing, but I do like them. I agree. If you buy stock and dumps the entire market, that's okay. Yeah, agree with Damien. If you guys read it in the chats, okay. I get tons of questions all the time. Obviously, like, should I buy this or sell this? Okay, if the stock is moving on its own, okay, if it's moving on its own, like today, right? You saw a big red day for any of these companies, whatever it may be, I guess. ONDS, big red day today, right? And drone companies are all up for the most part, or Arcad, I guess, big red day today, right? There's something going on with this company right now that is company related. It is not stock market related, okay? Because it's floating up. So something is going on. You need to look into this. So if the whole market drops red, then no, I'm not worried about SoFi going down. The whole market just went down, right? So everyone was freaking out about Iran the other day. And I was like, guys, the whole data center market is down 10%. It's not just Iran. So I'm not worried about Iran being down, because when all the data centers float back up, it'll float back up. It wasn't specifically a company related issue. It was a market issue. So there's two different types of moves in the market. You want to sell based off of company movement more than you want to sell off of just market movement. If SoFi just floats up with the whole market and doesn't have a parabolic move on its own, right? They didn't sign some crazy contract. Earnings didn't shoot it up, right? If earnings shoots it up 20, 30%, there's a good chance that's probably the time you would sell, because that moved because the company did something, not because the market moved. Hopefully that makes sense. What else you guys got? Questions? Take a look at. I always look at the higher time frames to understand my true downside potential, guys. Always understand where the bigger movements happen. Okay. These movements, you can see Microsoft is getting close, guys. We're getting close. Microsoft is getting real close. We just need a little bit of green here, volume, positive volume happening, and these crosses to happen, but Microsoft's getting close. So excited for that. I am working on, Stone Cold brought up something to me, so I am going to be working on a course for smaller accounts and other strategies you can do to help smaller accounts grow. So I will be working on that. Archer is green on the daily, but remember, guys, I am looking for the weekly on Archer. But this dailies are good. Okay, dailies are a good sign. I'll get rid of all these little lines here. As like momentum has picked up, but we still are looking for the bigger momentum to come into place. You can see it's happened a few times when Archer's white line is under this green line right here, and right here. Okay, they've led to bigger opportunities. There's a good run up for a couple weeks, another good run up for a couple weeks. Okay, and now the white line is at this green line. Now we're just waiting on the cross to happen. So that's when I will dollar cost average down on my Archer position. Because even on this week, we have a bigger red volume candle. So I'm still waiting on the weekly to give me the sign of Archer. Again, I'm not going to time the bottom. Okay, we didn't time the bottom here. We're not going to time the bottom, but I'm okay, again, collecting 80% of 100% of the move, right? That's the plan. Um, ultimately, yes, it is. Uh, I've done leaps. I've been successful. There's sometimes it doesn't work out. Um, not specifically on diamonds, just in general. So, but yes, these are times you could buy leaps. But for me personally, I'm not holding leaps until I get a diamond. For me, I just don't want to risk also your time decay. So there's a little more into the option side, right? Because weeklies can take a long time to play out. So this was October 2024. And then you got to, this was 3 months to January 2025. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't wait for a huge diamond to come into play, because then you get like, this is another week. So another month and a half. So this just killed a month and a half of time decay, right? So the longer time frames can take a long time to go. So that's why leaps are, yes, you can go leaps. I'm just saying that be careful of the time decay aspect of it. But yes, you could buy some leaps. I wouldn't do 100% leaps, but yes. Just like SoFi, buying leaps would have been just fine, right? Buying leaps August 2024, December 2024 would have been fine. So you can. I want to buy some leaps on SoFi. That might be what I do on this weekly diamond because I have, if I get assigned all these shares on April 17th, I'll have enough shares. I'm just going to buy the leaps on that weekly diamond. But you pay right now with the VIX being high and implied volatility being high, you pay more for leaps than you would normally. So keep that in mind. You have the 21 January 2027s. What was the premium that you paid? So when you guys are looking at the VIX, when the VIX is above 25, or like we know implied volatility makes our premiums even juicier, right? Think when we are selling contracts, that is good for us, right? We want the higher implied volatility. We want the VIX to be higher because uncertainty allows us who are insurance sellers to collect more premium on that. Have fun, Miguel. See ya. Are you still on vacation? He'll let me know. So we want to, when implied volatility is up and the VIX is higher. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. We'll have fun.
Vacation. I get back. I get back tonight, so flying out. So we won't hear.
Okay,
Not like tomorrow, 3 afternoon. Later.
sweet. See ya. Um, but when we're really happy about selling options and collecting all this premium, well, the person on the other end is buying contracts because we're selling them, somebody's buying them, right? If we're collecting more premium, that means they're paying more premium to own these contracts, which isn't good. So you don't want to always be buying leaps when implied volatility is high and the VIX is high. It's probably why you haven't seen Gladiator buying any leaps at this moment. We can take a look at that one and see kind of what's to do. I mean, you just need SoFi to get back to 28. I think that's possible, for sure. I would assume that it happens before January 2027. You said you have the 20. I don't see a 21 strike. Was it the 20? Pat, was it the $20 strike? You guys can drop any other questions. If you guys have questions about strategies or anything like that, I'm here to answer all questions. And if I don't know an answer, I don't know it, and I will tell you I will look into it. 22. Good amount of open interest. So depending on cash situation for you, Pat, all I would say is maybe when we get that weekly diamond, might be a good idea to just maybe dollar cost average down a little bit. But unless you don't want to put any more at risk, then just hold what you have. Because you can probably bring, I don't know how much you put into it, but you can bring down your average pretty correct. Yeah, you have enough time on your side that averaging down when we get that momentum flip to bullishness. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So if I don't, again, I don't know your account size, but to buy now, right now, one contract would cost you $200 to buy one more, which if you do 720 plus your $2 divided by 2, your cost average is 460. So, but I'd wait for the bullish momentum to flip so that way in case we do see a bigger drawdown before that, right? Obviously, it could be a little higher if we don't go any more down and we wait for that momentum to flip, but I'd rather still wait for confirmation. All right. June 2028, 25 strikes. Typically, when I do leaps, again, account size is very important. I try to stick to 70 to 80 deltas. Because it's acting as if I kind of own the shares. The likelihood of being successful is pretty high. So, but again, this will pay you more if right. I think you'll be right. But yeah, I think, like I said, if I get assigned all the shares on April 17th, I'll go ahead and do leaps on the diamond instead of buying more shares because I'll be fully loaded on shares enough. Pat, for which scenario? Do we wait for diamonds on the weekly time frame? What scenario are you saying for? Yeah, I would wait for it because take a look here, right? If you were here, this is kind of where we're kind of sitting as far as like the March feeling like the rally is about to begin, and then we had this final dump down, right? So then the purple's down here. The white never got that far down, but you could see this like rally feeling like it's going to start. We can see one more dump and then a rally begins, and you'll buy it somewhere close to the same price, but you just allowed 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of time to go by that didn't decay some of your option. You waited. So I like to wait for the diamond. Sometimes you might buy it a little higher, but at least you're confirmed that momentum is on our side, which is what we want. We rather just wait to know the momentum's on our side. Like when you buy these things, guys, on the way down, that's fine. Just know that you might endure pain because you're not trying to buy it on the way up. You're trying to time it on the way down, which you could end up buying it at the same price as when our diamond hit, but you felt the pain of this drop while we waited, right? So two different ways. But yeah, I like to wait to know that the weekly time frame's on our side. Bigger time frames on our side is more bullish, guys. There's more weight, more weight, more data behind all the moves because it's a weekly time instead of just day by day. Awesome, Pat. All right. How you doing, Damien? You playing space right now or no? You're out on them. Did you guys watch the video also on why I did my covered call on Iran? If you guys see my trade alerts go out, by the way, if I see it, I'll just delete it if it's shared outside of that where it's at. If you have questions, just say, "Hey, Colby, I have a question about your most recent trade." Okay. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, you're removed from the group." I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, where is it? Where's the Discord? There it is. So inside Discord, guys, in here, you guys will see we put the trades, right? And then someone said, I have a question about why you did the trade you did. And then I quickly just made a video explaining why I did it. And I have no problem doing that. So you guys can understand why I would do something like that. But don't forward these trades into the chat because these chats have all free members and paid members. So would hate to give out the info that, others essentially pay for to give to people who don't, right? It wouldn't be exactly fair. I know life's not fair, I'm just kidding. But did you guys have questions on why I ran a covered call on Iran? Or no? Because it wouldn't typically be the time for me to do it. That's why I'm making sure you guys had answers. But Iran on the weekly time frame is just not bullish yet, so I think there's still a little bit of time left before we see this kind of curling up and this curling up and curling up. Just looks like there's a lot of time to bounce here. Could it bounce up to 50? Yep, and retest, absolutely. Come back down, right? We could see all this. There we go. Rensing Trade just did a covered call on Orla today. Well, we can take a look at it. He's another guy on X, guys. You guys can follow. Here's his, I think you're bullish. Yeah. Above the blue line, diamond, and off to the races. Let's see his covered call. Let's look at the Bollinger Bands. Okay. Interesting. I think he's just being really protective right now, and he's doing strikes out to May. I think he has a little bit more upside to go. He could have waited closer to like 19 or 1850 to start setting these, but yeah, he does. And I agree. He's got a great reason to love it. Which he did get in kind of when our diamond populated, so that's cool. So yeah, he just did a cover call, collected $1,000 in premium. I can pull that trade up if you guys want. Do you guys have questions? Anything that you guys are like, should I be setting a covered call on? We can kind of take a look at things if you guys want. I'm happy to. I really hop on live to kind of answer more questions about you guys, for you guys. Again, my job, or not my job, but how I kind of want the community to work is I want to help you guys learn to fish. Okay. I know it's such like an old timey like saying of like teach a man to fish, right? You feed him for life. So that's what I want to do though. I want to make sure that I kind of help and teach more than I do just tell you what to do. Um, because I think just telling someone what to do doesn't allow you for the next 30 years or 20 years or whatever it may be to be truly successful. So that's all. I just wanted to make sure you guys understand what you're doing so that way you can look at things and understand I should do this and shouldn't do this. So, and always realize, guys, as long as you set your covered call strike above what you really own it for, there's no losing. There's no losing. So, no matter what, it's still a winning trade. Don't be mad at yourself for a winning trade. No questions? You just want me to talk all day? All right. Well, I ran down here at the bottom of the band. Typically, like I said, I would not set a covered call. But I have a potential to be assigned all of my IREN shares also on April 17th. Ooh, I like LFMD. But I have a lot of hymns. So it's a small company, LifeMD. I know we're going to have to be on this weekly, right? Yep, weeklies. Breakout, coming back to retest. Volume is printing. Okay, everyone for the most part has called this company a miniature hymns. It's a mini hymns. It's what they are. They're just a telehealth company. I had it at 5 years ago. Yeah. No, they've had moments for sure where they just explode. Um, yes. Which leap? SoFi? Um, so, but yes, this is just a miniature version of hymns. Um, so if you are bullish for telehealth and the direction that's going, this is a cheaper, inexpensive play to be made than playing the hymns world. I don't know if options are being able to be made on hymns or on LifeMD. Let's take a look. It's a really cheap company, so I doubt it. To play kind of the selling options. Yeah, when I see April, May, and then we got to go out to August for the next one, and then November, I don't like this. Also, if I'm selling puts, yeah, you can get a penny to buy it for 3. Like, it's just, this doesn't make any sense. So, this is not one where I would be doing the wheel strategy on. This would be one where it's more buying and holding and selling. So suffer to run the strategy on, but if you're just doing the buy hold strategy, LifeMD, I think it will float up similar to like when HIMS floats up because HIMS will just lead the charge for telehealth. LifeMD will float up with it. Yeah, so you bought Braden, you bought June 2028 $25 strike SoFi Leap. Do you know what you paid for it? Just the contract price that you paid. 7. I'll go back to it. What's up, Trevor? Just going through Q&A, just kind of like yesterday, just talking. What's your thoughts on the meeting after close, Trevor? 9 p.m. meeting. Bullish or bearish? Buy call. June 2028. 25. 7. So for you, Braden, what I would wait for is to see when that weekly diamond. Same thing. I would still be waiting for a weekly diamond to come into play. You never know with this guy. I was talking to Baning Capital about it, and we discussed this morning about the probably bullish, because if it was bearish, he would do it tomorrow, 9 p.m. market, futures, aftermarket, whatever. Everything is closed to go into a 3-day weekend to fix whatever bad news just came out. With it being the day before the market really closes, I feel like it's bullish. And anything kind of red right this second is being manipulated to try to get retail to get scared a little bit with him talking later. So I do think it's going to be bullish as well. Um, and then Braden, what I would do is, and how I would play this, I wouldn't just dollar cost average down. Like I said, if for whatever reason, we see another dump happen, you're going to be upset that you dollar cost average down. With so much time on your hands, like so much time, to be exact, 807 days, I'm not really interested in dollar cost averaging down without any confirmations um, of momentum. Now, if momentum comes into play and the contracts, for example, are $6.50, right? Probably just that's it's not really a dollar cost average. It's just whether or not you want a bigger position, right? So if we see a turnaround and the premium is close to what you own it for and you don't want a bigger position, then it's not worth dollar cost averaging down. Okay. But momentum's on your side. You're going to win, right? Well, most likely going to win. Um, so that's how I would play it. I'm not buying any leaps without confirmation, because leaps are long term. Weekly diamonds are long term. So I want to play it based off of the weekly diamond coming into play, or something, momentum crossing, bullish volume. Something has to give me that the turnaround has started. As of right now, it hasn't proven. It's still just kind of flat chopping, right? Every day you own this one, theta, I know it's like nothing, right? Because it's so far out, but you pay this every day you own it. Okay. This is what you pay just to hold it. So if I don't have a reason to really hold this right now, because there is no confirmation that the stock momentum has fully turned around, then there's no reason to pay this per day, because every day you're just going to lose money. Whether or not the stock goes up or down, no matter what, you lose this money. Okay. It's not just buy it and that's what you own it for and this doesn't move. It moves. Daily cost to own the stock is this. Oh, who are you using? Who's your brokerage? Puts? Oh, okay. I've never used them, so I don't know. I've heard of them. Yeah, I have aggressive CSPs, 18 and 17. Are you? Is it? Is I don't. I've never. Again, I'm from California. I'm not from Michigan. I'm in Michigan though, but there's a lot of people from Canada. Like in your community, I didn't know if that's because you started it when you were there. I don't know. I don't think I have anybody from like West Coast or anything like that. They know my IP address, I guess. Oh, okay, Blossom. Got it. Well, hey, when I went there, I enjoyed it. That's where I proposed to my wife in Canada. Um, so I'm playing the aggressive CSP route with SoFi, because I want the shares. I just want to get paid to buy them. You don't have to. You could do at the money if you wanted to. 15.50, 15. If you wanted to still play the 14s, you could. Super safe. Just depends on your likelihood, again, of wanting to be assigned the shares. Right now, you're collecting less premium because What's up, Damien? Anyone has more questions, throw them in the chat. Want me to look at anything specific? Let me throw it at me. Yes, Damien. I'll talk to you later today or this weekend or whatever. I appreciate you. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Well, when I was setting mine, okay, we can look at my spreadsheet here. Okay. When I was setting mine, I set mine back in February and beginning of March for the most part. Yeah, this was the end of March. This was kind of recent. I did a 17. Um, but I've been in these for a while. So it wasn't so much that I was like the stock price was 17s and fluctuating 17 18 range. Um so it was probably like 1750 when I did the 18. I was just like I just want to get assigned. I want to get paid $1.80. So my break even is 1620, right? And I'm like I'm okay owning SoFi for a break even of 1620 in my account. So I was okay just being aggressive to make sure I get assigned. I just want to get paid because I know I will collect this 10% in premium because I know SoFi will be more than 18 when I sell this company, right? So I'm okay with that. So I was just being aggressive. I just want to get assigned. And if this rally happens, bullish news comes out today or something, there's a chance I don't get assigned any of these shares. And I did it super aggressive. Yeah. You got to be quicker than that. The little meme. Um, that I know I hate when that happens. Brokerages can screw you like that when they truly are down for a day or hours or something. Uh, you want to do puts on APLD now? Oh, okay, good. I was just gonna say it ran 20% in 2 days. So if you took a look at the weekly, right, when we were getting down here, the bottom of the band was 17. I think we got down to like 1980 or something was like the true bottom. Like during those moments, it's really hard because you just see it so red and you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do a CSP. I don't like this thing's moving down so fast and you get scared. Um, but yeah, during that drop day of like that 19 and you see the band at like 18, 17, that would have been the day. Now we're up 20%. Um, so tough, but we still going down, volume trending down, MACD is still going down. So this isn't quite ready to take off. So you probably will get a moment to do a CSP on APLD. So just be ready. Keep those in mind. When you asked me earlier today, should I close my CSP early? If, like I said, if you had something like APLD was down big or something, right? And your Navitas was up, you would close your Navitas to then throw that capital into APLD. That's what I mean when you got to make sure you have somewhere to put your money back to work. Otherwise, you're better off just letting it sit there in your current CSP situation. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Any of the data centers, just good opportunities present themselves. APLD has been a great one. Cypher, but looks like we're going to get that little pullback we've been kind of talking about today, trying to shake a few retailers out. You got SoFi going red. So we're going to see. What else you guys got? Anything else? A lot of companies, guys, I'm waiting just on a weekly time frame. So if you weren't in here before, I have a bunch of trades out there currently on for April 17th. So you won't see too many trades of mine unless we get the weekly diamonds. Okay, until we see April 17th come to play. Okay. The fun part about this strategy, sorry, yawn. The fun part about this strategy, guys, is that we don't have to be very active. You don't have to be. Okay. Can you be? Yes. Okay. You can be active with the strategy, but do you have to be? No. Okay. Like I just showed you, SoFi. Okay. I am trying to buy SoFi. This is money I haven't traded with for 50 days, basically. Yes, I prefer to do it on the monthly of options. So the third Friday, I prefer those dates. Obviously, if there's a weekly one that has a really tight spread and good volume on it, then I can do those ones as well. But I prefer to find the best premiums usually happens to be on the third Friday of every month. So right now it'd be going to May 15th for my next ones if April 17th doesn't make sense. And that's why my IREN covered call was April 15th. But here, like, you don't have to trade for 50 days to find out what you are going to do next. So there's not always going to be tons of trade alerts because I do one. And now, unless I close this early and collect the premium and then reopen one, but other than that, I got to wait 49 days. Okay. I'm okay waiting 49 days for my 10% return. And get the shares, or I just get the 10%. Because if I can do this every 50 days, guys, which is less than 12 trades a year, I can get to 74, 75% return on my capital. This is where like patience can really pay, but being patient can be really tough sometimes. Okay, so but CSPs really make you be patient to make things happen. So you don't have to trade much in this strategy, which is nice. Right now, I think most of you can get better entries on the current stocks I have, which is great, which is awesome. So if you are a full member, you guys inside the Discord have access to seeing my spreadsheet. You don't see each individual sheet, but you do see the total wheel log. So you can see what positions are active and see if it makes sense for you to open up a position in a better position. Like I said, IREN the other day was super red. You could have definitely done a better position than me to get into it if you like that company. So you do have access to this inside of Chill Trades. You can see it at the very top. There's a link. Okay, do not share it outside. Just go ahead and use it for yourself. Anyone else inside the group that has access to it has the link. They can click it themselves as well. Okay. Anything else? Want to make sure answer any questions. For anyone that has questions on the strategy or questions on how to set up the charts or questions on how to use the spreadsheet, anything like that, guys, inside the chat, you guys are also welcome to ask the questions. I can go ahead and make a quick video, post it. If you have a question, my assumption is that somebody else in the community also has that question. So don't be scared to ask. Okay. I'm pretty open book on when it comes to just getting you the answers. Okay. Let's see. We got a question. Typing up. The Founders Club has been closed, guys. So if you made it into the Founders Club, you are officially the final group. You guys are it. There's no more. We will probably come, maybe not this year. We're in talks about figuring out doing a Founders Club annual meetup or something like that where we do an event. But down the road, we're trying to figure it all out, but that is a potential happening. So the diamonds populate as is live. They populate live. So as the day is going, okay, they will populate. But, okay, the diamond is not confirmed until the day closes. So if you see all of a sudden, right, today, a good example, I guess, like, anyway, today, if we had a big pop on the daily, right, you guys are saying, hey, SoFi's got a diamond. Okay, well, by the end of the day, if all of a sudden the market just flipped red down 6%, that diamond could go away. The candle has to close to confirm that diamond is going to stay because you saw all the daily activity actually happen, right? So, yes, the diamonds will populate live as they are triggering, but on a weekly one, you might see a diamond on Tuesday. But by Friday, because of all the bearish news that maybe came out between Tuesday and Friday, the diamond has gone away because the candle's not closed. Okay? So keep that in mind. You need the candle to close to confirm the diamond, but the diamonds will populate before the close, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Arsh? Yeah, I think the Midwest. So we'll see. I don't have all the details on what the plan is. We'll figure it out. And there'll be plenty of notice. It won't be like a last second thing. It'll be well months and months and months ahead notice. Okay. Um anything else? Questions, diamonds. Okay, and I know somebody, they might not be in here, was asking because they are colorblind. I'm sorry. I don't have a way to make a colorblind version, I guess. But what I was telling them is that if you can't see the colors, when you go to the settings in here and go to style, you can change the diamond. So like a buy diamond, you can change to maybe like a circle or change it to an arrow. Whatever you want your buy emblem to be, you can change these. Okay. So you know a buy is a diamond, an add is a circle, a trim is an X, or however you want to do it. So you don't need to know the colors. Okay. So for anyone who is colorblind, two drone companies all related to the Trump organization, AGH and JFB. These were a golf company and a construction company. AMPX pulling back a little bit. APLD doing a little dance up here. Soundhound, I'm waiting on the weekly time frame for Soundhound. I'm waiting for the weekly time frame for Archer. Waiting for the weekly time frame on SoFi. If you want Hood, Hood and SoFi are on the same boat right now. How close is PGY? Getting there. Getting there. Okay, and we have a green bar. Woo! PGY. Trevor. Yeah, it looks like it. What I would think is going to happen, Trevor, is similar to what Hims just did. Okay, take this. We're gonna go up and we're gonna smack this 18. Okay, look at what Hims did. Same thing. Came up, pop, smack the red line, and then pull back. Okay, that'll probably be what happens here on PGY. And this is probably when you could be looking into setting some covered calls. Okay, this move up, start looking to set some covered calls. Daily time frame, yeah, it's so tight. This thing is so ready to pop. I probably need to get in some. What, did I lose a bet? What did I do? What do you mean? Did I lose a bet? I get so much hate for this Packers hoodie. No, gosh dang it, Dave, did you tell him to say that? My wife's family's all from Detroit. I'm a Packers fan. Okay, I've said it. Um, PGY is decent for puts. I do think so. I think let's take a look. Obviously, it's green today, so not today, but April 17th, if you just did short term, you could do 11s at the money, which is, well, not at the money. It's still 30 delta right now, so you could do that. Or the aggressive route, not saying you have to do it, but if you see what I see on the weekly time frame, getting pretty dang close, right? You could be a little bit more aggressive and say, okay, I'll just buy it for 12. Sure, it's 17 cents higher. I get it. But you're also collecting 93 cents in premium. So really, you're buying it for $11.07. Okay. There's two ways to think about those things. Does that make sense, Trevor, for you? Mr. PGY man? Let's see what you got, Elwa. And then if you didn't do April, you could also do the May one. Again, I don't love the dates where you don't have a whole lot of options until you get closer. So you do kind of have to hold things. You can't be too proactive on rolling if you needed to. Yeah, here you go, Trevor. Look at that. If you roll till May or do a May one at the current money, it's $1.78 in premium. Not too much volume. There's a little bit of a spread for sure. So yeah, I typically try to keep the color coding to what's kind of happening in the market. And then if it's really like the market's closed or anything, I'll do the blue for chill. Or if I just need to calm people's nerves down. So, but yeah, you could technically do this at the money. If you were to get assigned these shares, you would own it for a break even of 10.25. Or you're just going to make your $1.78 a share and not get the shares. Yeah, there's two ways to play it. If you're okay owning PGY at the current price, you can play it more aggressive. That's how I'm kind of doing with SoFi, right? I was good owning it for 17. I was just happy the premium put me to where the stock I thought could go, which was the 15s. So I was like, yeah, I'm good with that, right? My break even will be where I think the stock will go, but I'm not going to risk the chance of it just running up from where it is and not make something. So but PGY, you could run this play out and make some money. Protect your downside a little bit, get to own it for 10.25. If it runs up, you can close it early. You don't have to hold it the whole time. You can close it early. Yeah, I think war ends in and we can start getting back on this whole rate cuts happening. All these financial things are priced as if rate cuts are just off the table completely, which I just don't think is the case. So what's the next bullish catalyst for PGY, Trevor? If you want to raise your hand and talk, you can. If that's easier. Do they have something coming up or hinted towards something? Okay. All right. Well, that's not what I was hoping you were going to say, so that's good. Yeah. Yep. More partners. But they don't really say what the partners can. That's one thing I hate about SoundHound, which I'll show you. But when they say they announced a partnership, they don't really say what that can contribute to their balance sheet, right? It's just like they partnered. Yeah. SoundHound does the same thing. They say, we partnered with Five Guys. Okay, but like, what does that mean, right? Like, are you partnering with Five Guys pro bono? Or are you like actually getting paid a couple million? What does it equate to? So whenever they put out a partnership announcement, it really doesn't do anything for the company. Like as far as when they put out the announcement, the stock doesn't do anything. So that's one thing. It's like kind of annoying, and PGY kind of does the same thing. Yeah, Banning Capital is gonna send PGY on his own. Yeah, I like PGY. PGY is the other one. I think you can easily get back 28, and your next is 38. I mean, you're seeing like guys over 200%, over 300%, just to get back to previous resistance. And this is just all rate cuts happening, guys. This is the rate cut run of April till September, right? Rate cuts. Okay. Now we just need the rate cuts to be back on the table. I don't know if you know this, but Trump is pretty adamant about rate cuts. Dude's pretty good at getting what he wants for the most part. So if you don't think he's going to find a way to cut interest rates, which he's made that a clear point that needs to happen, PGY will do just fine. All the risk and everything that they've been talking about will just be off the table. So, yep, PGY. We'll start a position here soon. If you wanted to play it safe and do the CSP route, do the $12 one. Break even, like I said, would be the 12 to 10.25. It'll be even better if you can get a red day. The spread is pretty high on it, guys. So make sure you put a higher premium to try to get filled. Oh, look at your premiums are actually getting better right now on this one. There's not a whole lot of volume, so be careful. So it's $1.95 and $1.60, right? That's a 35-cent spread. I don't love that. But I understand PGY is not the best premium, like when it comes to the spreads. This one's a little tighter for the 11, but you don't obviously get as much premium. So just be aware that you're trying to get as much premium, but they're not going to give you 195. They're going to give you the middle, but you can sometimes, instead of it says 178, you might be able to get 185, maybe 182, 180, right? So just try to go higher and then adjust it down as you need to. But right now it looks like your premiums are actually up, even though the stock is up. So, like I said, it doesn't always have to be red. You just want this premium to be better than it was. Okay. What else we got, guys? Guess I was going through like the weekly ones. This is Soundhound too, guys. I mean, I always had a pretty good run, but curling, and curling. Okay. We're getting there. Same thing happened on this last one. We got this weekly and then we rallied, right? A nice to bottom to top, from the diamond to the top. Okay, 163% return. Okay. Soundhound, we're looking ready for the takeoff. Okay. So that's the other one I'm waiting on the weekly. I haven't really looked at path because I know it's a bunch of chop happening. It's been chop for a while. But no, red volume isn't getting better. FLNC, I know this one was a big topic before. It's getting there, but we still got some time for the big move to start. So, same reason why I'm not super bullish for ONDS quite yet, is because you can see that the momentum is still trending down on the weekly. So, we still have time. ONDS, I'm not in a rush. Let's see. Sorry, just seeing if there's anything else in the chat. Braden said, I'm waiting for a run up so I can start wheeling most of my port. I have a lot of stocks I can't wheel right now. Is it because they're just expensive stocks like Microsoft's and stuff like that? Or you're saying just because they're super undervalued at this moment? Yeah, expensive stocks. Yeah. Yeah, I wish Mag 7s would do some not rate cuts, some stock splits, so we could wheel them. That would be nice, but Again, they're not the best juicy premium, but they're safer companies, right, than the mid caps and small caps. Just because the volatility is just not super high because they built such a base of a company. So, there's your Navitas. Still holding. Oscar should hurry the heck up. Archer's same thing. I'm waiting on. We went over that a little earlier. Joby's, I think, in the same boat. Yep, Joby's in the same boat. Just waiting on that weekly time frame. They're both underneath the 200 weekly, which have been significant buying opportunities. So we're just waiting on those moments under the red pops. Okay. So we're just waiting on those moments. Again, don't need to time the bottom. Just be patient. Okay. Might be boring, but I promise you this patience will pay off. Okay. It's like, Colby, I want to make a move. I get it. I totally get it. I look at the market and I'm like, I could have made some money. But I understand that the market could also go down a hell of a lot faster than it goes up, as we've all felt it, right? And being patient and waiting for the right signal is the right move. Yeah. I mean, if you saw a pullback happen even before, or yeah, you have won the capital, I guess. Are you going to do the 9 or the 8? Just be aware of, where is it? Navitas. I think Navitas is still bullish on the monthly time frame too. So cross the downside on the weekly, still trending down. So yeah, I'd still be doing CSPs on it. I'm not doing not just outright buying it. Cuz this looks, I don't love, like I said, it still could go to 6, which would be the 200 weekly, which is where a lot of things are. You're going for the 195, huh? You're going for all of it. So there you go, guys. When you guys get the portfolio up, okay? So this trade requires $60,000. Okay? That he's doing. $60,000. But if you can get to $60,000 and we have these moments like this in the market, okay? That generates for him in 45 days, so like a month of work, right? A month and a half of work is going to pay him $10,000. Okay. Well, he does it. They give him $10,000. He can either use that to live off of for the next 45 days if he needs to, or he can use that money to put it right back into the market and grow that company. So when you get to that size, right, Braden, we talked about it, right? Navitas, right? You're like, I didn't get too much premium, one contract or something, right, to buy enough shares. True right now, but once you get that portfolio going and the strategy starts compounding itself, okay, I think $10,000 buys you quite enough of PGY, right? And you still have a potential to get more if you get assigned. So and again, you have a lot of companies in your portfolio that take up a lot of capital that aren't being used in the wheel strategy. But the strategy of the wheel is a big compounder, guys. If I can collect, right, 5% a month just in premium, not including stock price appreciation, that's an extra 60% on my capital per year of compounding. Even if you only get it right twice, 10%, that's what the S&P returns you every year, and you did it just in premium, not including your stock appreciation. Okay? So we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of this additional potential of income or compounding. Treat it like a dividend if you wanted to. Maybe you just play everything super safe on your covered calls and just collect. There's people who do it. I see people do it all the time. They're like, okay, this week, I'll show you an example. Okay, I'll just SoFi. Actually, I'll go to IREN. Okay, there's people who own the stock, okay, and they want to play things super safe. But think about this, guys. You could sign something right now saying, I will sell IREN tomorrow and I'll sell it for $49. Okay. Or you can say, I'll sell it tomorrow for whatever, $42. And they're just going to collect 2 cents, $2. It's $2 you wouldn't have if you like, okay, or I sell my company or the company for 42, which it would have to move a crazy amount. There's a 1% chance. This is a free $2, right? Not saying that's worth it, but there are people who do this, who just are like, well, I might as well collect $2 every week, right? That's an extra $100 a year. Some people do it. I'm not saying I do it, but people do it, right? It's not worth like the amount of work to do it, but people do that. Just extra money in your account you wouldn't have had. Oh, put your hand down, Trevor. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Again, you can be a little bit more risk on. That's an exaggeration, right? 1 penny. Some people do it. I'm not saying they don't do it, but you could do it this Friday and go to like a 5 delta. Collect 5 cents. Okay? Make sure you're willing to sell it because who the heck knows? Obviously, there's always a scenario where Iran tomorrow announces a $50 billion contract and then it skyrockets, right? That can play out. So those things can happen. So be aware of your situation, but unlikely to happen. Okay. But you can do these, especially if you get a huge spike on Friday. Like if this had a huge spike on Friday and popped to 42, then you could do one again for like 46, 47, 48 because the premiums would just skyrocket and just collect some premiums just for one day, 24 hours, and stock doesn't get there. So just extra little dollars, $30, anything, right? That's lunch. One day it just paid for your lunch, $30, right? Just extra money for not selling your stock, like for a day. So anything else? I appreciate everyone that tuned in today. I think one of our best show outs for sure. So super, super appreciative of you guys. I appreciate Trevor showing up, making his presence. I can tell. Can you not sign up for a different brokerage? I don't know anything about Wealthsimple, but okay. I've heard IBRK or Interactive Brokers is pretty good. I think it's mainly it's better for options. I'm pretty sure Interactive Brokers is more of an options platform. It's well known internationally through everyone. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you're using TradingView anyway for charting, so you won't really care about their charting side of things. I don't know what their option fees are. I think their margin is fairly inexpensive. So yeah, I think Interactive Brokers is pretty solid. I think they're ranked one of the top brokerages. I think you can also trade Interactive Brokers through TradingView, if I'm not mistaken. Like trade on their platform. Moo, Ninja, TradeStation, Tasty, Interactive Brokers. There you go. So yeah, you can trade directly on there. And Xander77 is also in Canada, so he can answer if he is using any specific one. I mean, based on the amount of people from Canada or in Canada, we might have to do our freaking annual meetup in Canada. Jeez. That's funny. Alrighty, guys. As of right now, like I said, I'm kind of in my positions. I have my 10% cash waiting for diamonds or a spike to 60 on the VIX itself would potentially send my final 10% cash into the market, even without waiting for that diamond. Because 60% dip, if you got, or 60%, if you guys have ever seen the VIX spike to 60, it's usually been the bottom. Trevor and I talked about it last night. Okay. Here is your August 2024 65. Okay. This got to 60, which was your April bottom on April 7th. Okay. The time before that, not that it happened in one day, but when it got to 60 on April in 2020 or March of 2020, it also was the time to buy. Okay. 50, 53. Okay. Here's your 2008. It got to 96, but again, if you bought during this like 60 above 60 spike, it was going to be your bottom point. Okay. So if we see a VIX above 60, I'll deploy the cash. I won't do CSPs. I'll just deploy it. But if we get diamonds before, if we don't get a 60 spike, because we don't always get a 60 spike right here. How many times did we bounce at 30, drop down, bounce to 30, drop down, bounce to 30, and then trend down? So 30 is where I put, and I'm usually 10% now in cash, which is where I'm at now. And then if we got a spike to 60 or we see the recovery happen with the diamonds, then I'll deploy the remaining 10%. But a 60 spike is usually going to be your bottom. So you can deploy the remaining cash that you have and buy whatever position. It doesn't matter because that's going to be pretty much the bottom for all of them. So whatever companies you just like the most, then that's what I would deploy the cash to. Yeah, you want me to pump the our anthem song? Yeah. I don't think you guys hear my computer audio though. So if you guys, Dog made a really cool song and for our community, and I truly appreciate it. It's amazing. The link has been sent in the community, but it's really awesome. So I appreciate Dog for that. That's awesome. But if there's no more questions, we are going to go ahead and shut down this live. Again, we will be live this weekend on Sunday, answering same questions. So make sure if you have any questions or want us to go over it over the week, maybe you made a trade and you're like, I shouldn't have done it. What could I have done better? Right? We can look at those things. Sunday, I really like to open the floor for everyone to talk and ask questions. So that's what I save release Sundays for. Because we have all week to see kind of what happened. This weekend, we get to digest whatever news is happening and then talk about the week going forward. So I like to open the floor for everyone to talk. So that will be Sunday. This video is recorded. Sunday is recorded. So you can always look back inside of our Discord on the YouTube tab. It'll say the live stream with the date if you needed to watch it back or couldn't remember the answer to one of the questions I answered, you can refer back to it as well. Or if you missed Sunday, you can watch it later Sunday night, whatever it may be. Appreciate you, Trevor, for showing up. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? That's so funny. We'll keep turning. Money keep coming. Yeah. Put up in the Discord, didn't know a thing. Now we reading charts like a second nature king. Kobe on the live, breaking down the play. Turning confusion into money every day. From the first screen, they changed the game. Now the whole squad treat us one and not the same. No more guessing, no more chasing. Hype, now we wait for diamonds, then we strike. Hey, don't just call it done, change the vibe. So when the market move, we already aligned. Build the whole army, yeah, we locked in tight. Appreciate you guys. Let's get it. I appreciate you guys all. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to end it right there. If you guys want to listen to it or anything like that, it's in the Discord. I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you guys later.